This incident occurred in 2015 during the winter time. My friend Rick and I were both in our late 20s at that time. We were on the way to attend mutual friend's wedding. We had 5 hour journey ahead of us and started our trip late in the evening. To avoid the traffic on the main highway, we decided to take alternative back road. So we drove down this narrow back road. We were listening to music and having conversation. It was around 9 p.m. when on the bend in the road we noticed a woman walking slowly on the roadside. She was walking in our direction. I quickly slowed down. In the car's headlight, I could see that she was in her mid-40s, had long black hair, and was wearing the long white sleeve dress. She passed us without looking in our direction. What surprised us most was she was walking alone at night on this deserted road surrounded by woods, and she wasn't wearing any warm clothes to protect herself from freezing cold. Rick said, "Hey, I think she is a homeless person. I have a spare jacket. Let me quickly offer it to her." Without waiting for my response, he opened the door and stepped outside. I watched in car's side mirror as Rick hurried toward the woman, calling out her to wait. She stopped in her track and Rick reached her, offering the jacket. They looked at each other for few seconds before woman resuming her walk again, with Rick following her. They both disappeared from my view in the mirror. I found it strange that Rick didn't return even though woman didn't accept the jacket. I waited thinking he might have tried again. Few minutes turned into 5 but Rick didn't return. I started the car, made a U-turn and drove in the direction they had gone. I drove slowly on the deserted road, but there was no sign of either Rick or the woman. I became increasingly worried because there was no way they could have gone further unless they entered the woods. In a hurry, he had left his cell phone in the car. There was no way I could contact him. In about 15 minutes, I made several rounds of the area, but found no sign of anyone. It occurred to me that woman might have been part of a gang. They might have kidnapped Rick. I immediately called the police emergency line and explained the whole situation. Operator informed me that highway police car was on patrol in the nearby area and would reach us soon. Fortunately, the car came within 20 minutes. I recounted the entire incident to the 2 police officers. For the next hour, we combed the nearby area with no success. Police called for a search party, sought assistance from the locals in the area. The search continued for a few hours in the wooded area before it was called off. The next early morning, search operation resumed, covering the wider area of the woods. During the afternoon, a local member of the search party found Rick deep inside the forest, walking alone. He immediately alerted the police. We went to the spot. When we reached there, Rick was sitting on the ground looking down. The local man informed us that Rick had been wandering aimlessly as if he were in some kind of trance. Rick had numerous scratches on his hands and legs, indicating that he had been walking in the woods throughout the night. When everything settled down and he regained his senses from the emotional shock, Rick told me that when he offered the woman his jacket previous night, she had gazed deep into his eyes and asked him to follow her. From that moment, he had been following her in hypnotized state. He did not know where she disappeared in the woods. What was he doing whole night? Locals in the area told us that this part of the forest is haunted by a witch who had died many years ago, but her ghost still continued to prey on unsuspecting travelers.